What is up, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a massive CGC graded card return that I got back. About 7 months ago in July, I bought a massive WotC vintage era collection that had a ton of awesome cards, and I sent the entire collection plus some Japanese cards that I bought on the side out for grading with CGC, and they're finally back. I got this graded via their bulk tier, and it took about 130 days for them to come back. And right now, if you look at their website, their bulk submission turnaround, like estimated turnaround time, is 138 days. So I would say that was pretty accurate. Now, it didn't say 138 days when I submitted them. I think it actually said like 200 and some days. So I was expecting to get these much later in the year. I thought it was going to take a full year to get them. So they seem to be turning around the bulk stuff faster than the estimated when I submitted in July. But obviously, it's still taking a long time to get these cards back. So at least they're being somewhat honest with their estimated turnaround time. That obviously we can't say about Wata Games. That still says that their speedrun turnaround time is 45 days. And it's been the exact same amount of time that my games have been with Wata that these cards were at CGC. There's 72 cards I've gotten back now from CGC in this submission, and I sent 2 games to Wata and still have not gotten them back. So yeah, Wata's been a mess. I will make a different video going over the games when I finally get them back and how much frustration I've had with them. But today we're going to be taking a look at half of the submission. I don't want to do the whole thing. The video would be too long, so it'll probably be a part 1 and part 2 of this. So make sure to stay tuned for part 2. We're going to go through a bunch of bangers here right now. So I actually estimated this entire return at about between $4,000 and $5,000, and that was being quite conservative with the prices, and that was all last sold on eBay. So hopefully I'm able to get that out of all these cards because I need to recoup some moolah, especially from this purchase alone. This collection purchase was about $2,000, I think. So if I did make, $5,000 off of it, that would be a very, very good profit off of this collection. It was a very cool collection when I bought it. I'm super excited to have these cards in my possession. And actually, some of these cards will go into my personal collection just because they're so awesome. But let's get started. We have a CGC 5 Blastoise. This card has a lot of problems, so I'm not surprised that it got a 5. But base at Blastoise, base at Charizard, base at Venusaur, you might as well grade it if you got it. Especially at the time, I think I graded these for like $12 a card or something like that, so it just made sense. We have a 5.5. This is a Great Rockets Mewtwo. So this is a Game Boy promo. Didn't come to the States. We didn't get in the US. It's Japanese exclusive. This got a 5.5 because of, I think, a small crease on the side over here. Took it down pretty significantly. It does have some edge wear and stuff, but really cool promo card. Really like it. Holds pretty good value. So if you do find one of those, definitely keep it in mind. We've got a Dark Raichu, the first secret rare ever in Pokemon cards. This got a 6, unfortunately, because it has a small crease at the top. You can see it there. I actually sent this in because I wasn't sure how CGC was going to value creases comparatively to PSA, because I think when I've seen PSA submissions, creases just automatically taken down to like a 6 or a 5 or somewhere around there, and then it kind of goes from there. CGC seems to be a little bit more lenient on small creases, depending on how much it actually affects the aesthetics, like the front of the card. So that one got a 6, unfortunately. We got the Masaki promo Machamp. Now, the Masaki promos are really cool because you had to basically trade in a Machoke with like this transfer card. It was like a Bill's Transfer or something card. I forget what it's called. And you had to send that to Pokemon Center, and then you would get this Masaki Machamp in the mail. It was a really cool way to kind of illustrate the trading evolution process in the actual card game, which I thought was actually really cool. Now, the problem with these cards is the way that they were delivered. They were like delivered in an envelope with little nubbies on the side. Typically, if you see a high-grade Masaki promo, it's going to go for a lot because usually they have indents on the corners, and this one actually does, and that's why it got a 6.5. All right, we have a Ninetales from base. It has a lot of scratches on the hollow foil, which is probably why it got a 6.5. I think underestimated surface scratches and hollow foil scratches when submitting these cards. I didn't really think that the micro surface scratches, especially like on the back, would really take away that much, because I don't think visually it takes away that much from the card unless you're really looking at it. But unfortunately, it does. And a lot of these cards came back a little lower than I thought because of surface scratches, hollow foil scratches, and stuff like that. So this got a 6.5, unlimited Ninetales. This one was a big disappointment to me. I bought this actually as a single because it looked super minty. It came back a 6.5. It's going to be impossible for me to show you what I think happened, but there is the slightest little surface scratch that goes from the bottom to the artwork. It is so slight. It's so difficult to see. I don't know how in the world that knocked it all the way down to a 6.5, but yeah, so I'm a little disappointed. I love this card. It's probably one of my favorite Arcanine artworks. I think it's beautiful, and unfortunately, it got a 6.5 because of that little scratch. It is minty otherwise. So this one is the only card that came back where I was like, what? Because it took me a long time to find the little scratch, and it seems like a lot to take off for a barely noticeable scratch. This one was a huge surprise to me as well. This Ancient Mew got a 7. Now, when I sent this in, I thought, man, this is a minty card. Like, there's nothing wrong with this card. But I do think it just comes down to surface scratches. And there might be a little dent on the left-hand side, and actually maybe the right-hand side here. I think it does have a couple little dents that I didn't notice when I sent it in. But Ancient Mew is just an iconic card. If you're my age and you grew up opening Pokemon cards, or honestly, people younger than me too have said that they also have Ancient Mews. I mean, that's just, everyone had an Ancient Mew. There is a lot of them out there, and there's a lot sealed still out there too. So don't think that that's like a rare card or anything, because it's not. All right, this is another one that was kind of disappointing to me. This was my favorite card out of the collection. I love the swirl coming out the mouth. Obviously, it's a base Japanese Charizard. It's really, really cool. Unfortunately, it got a 7. Now, I thought it was going to get a little higher than a 7 because I didn't think the edgeware or anything was really that bad. There is some dirt here and there, and I think it just comes down to surface scratches on the back. But otherwise, this card looks really nice, and unfortunately, I'll be selling this. I was hoping that this would be a card that would go in the personal collection. If it had gotten an 8 or higher, I probably would have kept it, but because it's a 7, I will be selling this. If you're interested, check out my eBay. Link below. All right, we have some fossil Japanese cards now. We got Fossil Zapdos that got a 7. I think this comes down to surface scratches as well. This one has a pretty decent little indent, like nick there at the top that probably affected surface and edges, maybe. Which is probably why it got taken down so much. Really cool card. We also have a Lapras that got a 7.5. I don't think there's any dents or anything on this Lapras, but unfortunately the edgeware was just a bit too much. Took it down to about a 7.5. That's all right. It is what it is. As you can see, the grades are getting progressively better as we go. I kind of put them in order from least to greatest, so we'll get to the real bangers later on. But we got a Gyarados from base 2. I love the base 2 holo. I say this every time I see a base 2 card. Love the base 2 holo comparatively to just regular base. I think the Galaxy foil pattern is so much better than the regular one. But yeah, we got a Gyarados 7.5. I think this one just came down to edgeware, surface scratches. We've got a Raichu 7.5. Same thing. Definitely some hollow scratches, some surface scratches. But overall, fairly clean. I mean, it's still a near mint plus, so that's pretty awesome. We got a Level X. Here's probably the most recent card, like the most, what would you say, modern card in the submission. Empoleon Level X. This is 7.5. It got a 7.5 because, I don't know if you can see them up there. This is a promo that came in a tin, and this tin had little nubs that held the card in. I actually removed this card from the tin. It was still in it when it came in the collection, and unfortunately, those nubbies left some damage on the edges, so that's why it got a 7.5. Otherwise, looks really, really nice. We got ourselves a base 2 Mewtwo. Check out that swirl coming out its butt. I call it the farting Mewtwo. I don't know, man. I have a Blastoise where the swirl's coming out the butt too. I don't know what it is about swirls like coming out of butts for me, but they tend to, I must be attracted to them somehow. But this got an 8. This is pretty sick. I love the Galaxy foil pattern. Really nice looking card. Now we got Japanese Misty's Golduck. Misty's Golduck is a cool card. I like Golduck. I think there's better Pokemon out there, but I think Golduck is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool evolution of Psyduck, and Dark Golduck is one of my favorite Golduck artworks. The one where he's got the laser beam coming out of his eye, and it's like splitting the water. Oh my god, it's such a cool artwork. Man, Team Rocket just has some great artworks, doesn't it? This was really cool though. Really pretty card. We've got an iconic Mr. Mime from Jungle. Nothing too crazy to say about this one. It's just a Mr. Mime. We got a Dragonite from Fossil in an 8. We did get a higher grade Dragonite. I don't know if it will be in this submission or the part 2, but I am going to probably be keeping the higher grade one because that one was super nice. But yeah, we got an 8. One of my favorite Dragonite artworks. I love just the colorful background. Big fan of a lot of color in Pokemon cards. We got an 8 in base set 2 Venusaur. This is pretty nice, actually. I'm glad that this got an 8 near mint mint. Very clean looking card. Very pretty Venusaur. And it's got that nice Cosmofoil holo pattern. Love it. We got Dark Blastoise Japanese. I bought this one from a seller, I think on Mercari or eBay, one of those places. I really wanted a mint-looking version of this. I do have one in the back there that's a 7.5. I'll probably be replacing it with the Japanese version in an 8.5. But yeah, this was super minty. Not sure why it got an 8.5 comparatively to like a 9 or higher, but CGC tends to, I think, default to 8.5 on a lot of vintage-looking cards. It is what it is. It's kind of become a meme now. I feel like they say that, you know, CGC gives out a lot of 8.5s and 9.5s. I agree. We'll see with the pop report at the end of next month. Hopefully, that'll be nice. We got an 8.5 Gyarados. This is just a base Gyarados. You see that holofoil? It's just not as cool, man. It's just not as cool as the Cosmo, in my opinion. There's no swirls. There's no swirls in them. All right, we've got a banger here. We got a Dark Charizard near mint mint 8.5. This is actually interesting. I feel like there's a Japanese version of this that got a lower grade that I feel like looks like a nicer card. But again, I'm not a professional grader. But yeah, so we got this one will probably go in my personal collection next to my 8.5 base set Charizard. It would be cool to get all these Charizards in like 8.5s or higher. Blaine's Charizard, all those other WotC Charizards. That'd be really sick. But yeah, Dark Charizard, really awesome. We got Dark Dugtrio. Love this card because it's a straight callback from the game. When Dugtrio breaks into the home, Team Rocket steals TM28 Dig, and then you find it outside later, and then you have Dig for the rest of the game, which is actually super OP for the next fight against Lieutenant Surge. Just a really cool callback here. You can see he's in the house and everything. He's busting through the floor. Just awesome. I love little callbacks to the games and to the anime when they put those in the card game. Super cool. We got a base set 2 Nidoking. You can see that we did get a lot of 8.5s. So we should be getting it into the 9s here fairly soon. Love the Cosmofoil. I think Nidoking is severely underrated as a Pokemon. His cards definitely do not sell for as much as like a Mewtwo or those sort of like A-list. I guess you would say Nidoking is more like a B-list Pokemon, but I love Nidoking. I think he's badass. We got a Hitmonchan, base set 2. God, those holofoil patterns are just so gorgeous. I love them. Damn. I always picked Hitmonchan, by the way. I always picked Hitmonchan because you got all the cool punches. You got Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, like all those cool elemental punches. And Hitmonlee only got like high kick, low kick, and like all those high jump kick, like all those fighting type moves. He didn't get any elemental cool moves. So I always chose Hitmonchan. We got Dark Magneton. This is a card that's notoriously hard to grade because most of it is holofoil, but it's also a light color holofoil, which can be very difficult to get a high grade. So I'm actually really happy with an 8.5. I think that did really well. You can also see that nice swirl up there. Really beautiful looking card. We also have Brock's Rhydon. I like Rhydon too. I think Rhydon got the shaft when they made Rhyperior. So now everyone's like, oh, Rhyperior is so good. But I always thought Rhydon was actually a cool Pokemon that didn't really need a third Evo. It was cool that they gave him a third Evo because I do like Rhyperior, but he wasn't like Electabuzz or Magmar that had like no Evo and then they gave it one. So, I don't know. I like it though. I like Rhydon. I think he's cool. Yes, this is a banger, guys. I was very happy to see this get an 8.5. We got a Neo Lugia Unlimited in the 8.5. Now, as you guys know, I have a first edition Lugia that I still haven't gotten graded yet, but it's still chilling back there. So I probably will be selling this on my eBay because I have a first edition version, which will probably get an 8 or higher, which I would, much rather keep than the unlimited version. But beautiful card. Super happy that this got as high a grade that it did. It's really going to help me make my money back on this purchase. We got an Erica in a 9. These are like the first holo trainers. Like everyone's all about like the full art trainers and the waifus and stuff. This is one of the first waifus, man. Which is really awesome that it got a 9 as well. Very cool trainer cards in this set in Gym Heroes. I think they're super cool looking. We got ourselves Giovanni's Nidoking. Giovanni, again, Nidoking's awesome. Giovanni's cool. The major villain from the original games. Team Rocket's leader. And this Nidoking artwork is badass. Now, it probably graded pretty high because there's barely any holo pattern. But the holo pattern that is there is pretty pronounced. It's pretty cool. So, definitely like that. Blossom, definitely not the most sought after Pokemon, but I really like this artwork. I think it's really pretty, and the fact that they included 2 of the same Pokemon in an artwork, I feel like you didn't see that very much back then, so this is kind of unique, I feel like, for this particular set, this Neo set. I think it's really cool looking. Oh, this is such a beautiful card, too. We got the Blaine's Moltres. It's probably one of my favorite cards of Moltres. I think it's a beautiful artwork. It's got that 6 swirl on the left. This is a card that I bought as a single. I'm super happy that it got a 9. Just really, really cool looking. Cool background. Cool holofoil pattern. Gorgeous. We've got ourselves Dark Arbok. Like I said, Rocket has some of the best artworks in my opinion. Arbok doesn't get a whole lot of love early on because there wasn't a whole lot of other like rare Pokemon. Arbok got more love, but now he's probably just an uncommon, common. And but I think Arbok is pretty cool. I think he's as cool, if not a little cooler than Seviper, if we're talking about snake Pokemon. This is one of my favorite returns. My favorite Houndoom artwork. Oh my god, the town on no map. It's so cool. So I really like e-reader cards. Unfortunately, most e-reader holos are super expensive. They hold a lot of value because they're unique, and they have some of the best artworks in my opinion. So this Houndoom is absolutely awesome. I'm super happy that it got a 9. This is a big hitter for me. I think I paid about $90 for it, and they consistently sell for around $200 in a 9. So that's a pretty big hitter for me, and definitely, I'm gonna make some money back on this one. But I'm gonna be keeping this one for my personal collection, and maybe sending it to PSA someday to see if we can upgrade this to a 10. Who knows? You never know. We got an evolution. We got that jungle Flareon. This got a 9. Super happy about the fact that this got a 9. It is a super clean card. It's got a little bit of whitening in the corner, but otherwise gorgeous. One of the first evolution cards. Couple left. 9.5. We got a 9.5 Heracross. This is going to replace my 7.5 Heracross that I have on the shelf right now. We got it in Japanese, and we got a 9.5. Another single that I bought, I think I got this for like $5 or $8 or something like that, and it ended up being a 9.5. Now, this is a card that someday I could crack out for an experiment and send to PSA and see if this would cross to a 10. But overall, very happy with the result there. And the last card I'm going to show you guys in this video is a 9.5 Meganium from the Neo Premium file. So this was like a file folder that you got at some point as like a promotional item that had all of the 3 evolution lines of the Gen 2 starters. And so we have the Typhlosion, the Feraligatr, and the Meganium, and Meganium happened to get a 9.5, which is absolutely awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. It's super awesome to go through these cards. I'm so excited to finally have them back. I can start listing them, start getting them out for sale, start, replacing cards in my personal collection with cards from this submission. And it's just super awesome to finally have them back. It took long enough. It took long enough, that's for sure. I appreciate you guys being here, though. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.